What role does Simon play in your adventures?
Well, Simon was a rescue cat at one point. You know, you can kind of see now he kind of tells me what we're doing, where we're traveling. And so Simon and myself, we travel all around the U.S. We were just in Kansas last week. We were sailing. We went on a biplane. I went skydiving, but you didn't go skydiving, huh? You stayed behind. And he ended up wandering off, too, at one point in one of the state parks, which was kind of horrifying because I didn't know if I was going to find him. Yeah. So anyways, to be short, yes, Simon travels with me everywhere, and yeah, we're a duo now.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. Tell me what, I mean, I've seen your website, I've seen some of your videos, you're a globe-trotting adventurist. What's the point of some of these travels? Is there, I know that's a weird question, I was like, what's the point of your travels? But your document, what's your mission statement?
For me, it's all about getting people into the outdoors. Because I learned at like a very early age, college, I guess that's not too early, but I learned that when I was out there exploring and when I saw other students around me exploring, there was this transformation that everyone kind of went through as they were seeing the environment. And I realized at that point that my calling was to inspire people to get outside so they can actually firsthand experience the outdoors and like want to help and protect it. So that's kind of what I'm doing on a more larger scale with my photos and my videos, is just showing people how amazing just your backyard can be, because you don't have to go to these exotic countries to realize it for yourself. I mean, there's so many gorgeous places just even in LA, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so
California in general.
Yeah.
I was also kind of stalking you, and I was like, I want to marry someone like you. Not.
I love it.
We can make it happen right now. I'm an ordained minister, and we can just do it.
Are you want?
Welcome to our wedding ceremony, JJ.
JJ,
Yes, of course.
Listen, no, I said that because I feel that whatever it is, like all this stuff that you're doing with your life is exactly what I've always dreamt of. Like, just be out in nature, enjoy, and plus you get to make films out of it. You get to, you know, promote, like bring a message to people. But I want to know if there was something like specific that triggered this idea of yours to really want to change the world through, you know, the exposure to nature.
So I had these fish tanks when I was about 15, and I started growing aquatic plants. Oh, wow. And I made like this whole underwater aquarium. My first company I started was called Aqua Utopia, and it was selling like aquatic plants. And I would sit there watching my fish tank and just kind of want to just dive into it and be inside this like underwater garden. And I think that was a huge trigger for me, because that was like when I first was like, I want to dedicate my life to helping the environment and you know, just exploring the earth.
You're immersed in this world where, I don't know, I get really frustrated at times. Do you deal with that kind of feeling too by being such like an advocate for nature? Just
us being present, you know, we're here, you know? So I think I burnt myself out trying to be so extreme. I never think it's ever a good idea to be extreme on it with anything in life. And I think as I've gotten older, I've learned that, you know, the key is moderation with effort.
Yeah, but you need to chill too.
So my grandma said,
you gotta chill. And you can't be judgmental about people that might not be living the same lifestyle as you, because
a lot of it is lack of knowledge. Also.
But what are some of the extreme things that you were doing early on that you're, you know, laying back on these days?
I was going through my parents' trash, you know.
What?
Going through their trash and like, you know, telling them like, you need to sort this and that. I mean, I don't know if that was the cleanest way of going about it, but that's just like one example. And then I was lecturing my parents like, hey, you need to be more, you know, be more environmental. And the thing is, like, when you're really judgmental, then you're your own hypocrite.
How does that, I mean, maybe there's a part of your personality, I'm not going to guess, I'm going to ask, what's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Okay, so you're a fire sign. So what are some of these, you know, sometimes maybe you have a habit of having extreme moments. Did that parlay into your travels? Like do you have, can you talk to us about some of your extreme travels?
Oh yeah. So that's where we get into my mid to late 20s, when I was trying to, you know.
Late 20s. I thought you were in your early 20s. You look so young.
But yeah.
Wow.
I see sparks flying. I see sparks flying. I can get them married right now.
Oh, come on.
Welcome to your wedding, JJ.
And I go on wandering, traveling
I'm
the
just
world.
saying, I see sparks.
Anyhow, JJ.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, of course. So I wanted to climb Everest. That was kind of my big thing, was climbing the biggest mountain in the world. And it was a metaphor and literal. I literally wanted to do it too. And so I was training to climb really big mountains. I went to Bolivia in 2012 and I was climbing some of the Andes, 20,000 foot peaks there. And I got myself into some life-death scenarios where, you know.
Like, what was your closest, I guess, encounter with death?
My ice axe, my crampons like slipping off and then just falling down the ice.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
my ice axe catching on the roof of my mouth as I'm sliding down. That was a pretty scary moment. Yeah, so those kind of moments, like I was trying to be really extreme in the outdoors, you know, and then, you know, I had some wake-up calls.
When you're ever in a relationship, does your significant other ever get jealous because maybe you're giving too much attention to the cat?
Great question.
Yes, I mean.
Are you serious?
I would say so. I would say so because I'm, you know, like Simon's like my one and only, you know, so.
Ooh,
not
Wow, the stakes are high.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Girls
That's
out
funny.
there, or
And
people.
you guys probably do everything together too. It's like you're.
Does he shower with you?
Yeah, so, you know, cats don't really like water. But,
Okay.
I mean, he does
Dennis
actually
doesn't know
tolerate.
anything about
He
pets,
does-
I
clearly.
don't. I've never had one.
So, I mean, he has showered before, but I don't
It's just in
really
the shower.
want him to shower with me, you know,
Okay.
sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be weird. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Getting back to the extreme aspect of some of your travels, when you went to the Himalayas, you started climbing Mount Everest. First of all, what are the Himalayas like? Because to me, they're very mystical. You know, a lot of world religions actually stem from, you know, the Himalayas. I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but did you feel something mystical and like ethereal when you were there?
I don't know if I did as much as I thought I would have. But what I would like to say about the Himalayas is that everyone can go to them. They've made it very accessible. There are little tea houses along the way as you're.
Because you need tea houses for what is it, like coca leaves or something like that to help you with the altitude?
Coca leaves can help you, although they have like just different kinds of tea, like lemon and ginger, and
Now
it's
you
really
didn't
nice.
make it all the way up to Everest, did you?
So I was just doing a trek to base camp. That was all I was
Now
doing
you know
for
at the
that.
top of the mountain, you know, you walk by corpses, right?
Ew,
Yeah,
really?
so that is true, but I didn't go. on
But
that
this is true though.
Yeah,
There are
yes,
people that died
I know.
and
I'm
are
not doing
in
that
the
thing.
frozen
Forget
snow
about it.
as you trek up.
Yeah.
We are going to a 5-star resort, okay? When we go out to
stay
wherever
there?
that place is
No,
at.
what I was saying though is that, believe it or not, going to Everest in the Himalayas, it's actually pretty nice. Like anyone can do it, like anyone. So you know, if you wanted to go there, they have like little lodges along the way.
Oh, nice.
So it's very nice. Yeah.
Something that I love, absolutely adore about your blog was the fact that it has a little bit of everything. And one of the big things is cooking.
I love
yeah.
People follow
Yes.
you for these, you know, recipes that you have. It's specifically for outdoors, right?
Yeah.
So were you always into cooking? Is there?
Well, I like to see. I look at life as life is like a buffet for me. It's just, you know, you never know what you're gonna get, and I like to have everything. So I like to have lots of choices, lots of options, and with food. Food is just huge. It's like, you know, we are what we eat, and especially in the backcountry, like when you're hiking miles and miles, all you think about is what you're going to eat next.
Of course.
And
or who at this point, you know?
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, is that like sexual? Or eating like that movie where there's stuff
exactly.
I think either way, it's bad. Either way.
Yes.
That movie Alive, yeah, I was always terrified about plane flights because of that movie. You know?
Not being stuck on a mountain, but crashing in a plane.
And that has to do with the Andes too. You know,
By the way, Dennis's love life is like a buffet.
Skin, right?
Exactly.
So I don't eat people in the wild or in general. I will
Okay,
put that
thank
out
you
there.
for clarifying.
Just in the wild.
But yeah, I got really big into cooking just growing up with my parents. My family is huge on cooking. And then when I was in college, I started my outdoors club, the Excursion Club, and I would take people in the outdoors. And again, I was all about having like a really amazing buffet type meal next to a waterfall, next to a sunsets, you know, setting on the horizon.
Sign me up. How do I get involved in this?
What's that?
Your parents are from where?
They're just from here.
Oh, are
That's
they?
so boring. I know. They're from here. Yeah.
You just look a little Asian.
I do
looking.
have like ethnically
Hawaii.
looking, I have culture, you know, Irish and Japanese, but
was
in
gonna
terms
say.
of my actual culture, I really don't I don't know any
You're
languages.
JJ Yosh.
Yes.
Okay,
enough.
so now we're gonna play a little game because it's environmentally related, and I'm sure you're gonna have a good opinion on this. We call this hashtag Culture Crusade.
Culture Crusade. Simon, you better do well on this one.
All right, JJ and Simon. So right now there's a hashtag called Bring Back the Bags. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And what that is around the country and the world, disposable grocery bags, which have been banned in a lot of places. A lot of people are wanting to bring them back because they're finding out that the reusable bags may actually be worse for the environment. What do you think about that?
I agree.
Paper bags.
Actually.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I live in Boulder, and they have, and I know they do this in other cities too, where you have to pay for bags.
Yeah, it's like 10 cents more.
And I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. Like, I think the whole, I think we should be making bags that are just biodegradable,
right?
You know, so that we don't have to pay extra money for these bags, you know, and then, but reusing your bags, like, you know, bags leach chemicals. So it's like we're reusing these bags, and who knows over time how old they get if they're leaching chemicals as we're, you know, and
Are you aware of this issue though, or I mean, from before? Like
I'm not aware of exactly what you're referring to,
right?
But I just have my own opinion about it.
Well, you know what I do when I go into grocery stores?
What?
So like I go into Ralph's, on the way in, I grab a bag, like on the way in, so that I don't have to pay the 10 cents on the way out.
Yeah.
I will
You
say
are
this.
such a cheapskate.
I will say this.
No,
They're gonna catch you on the camera, and they're
that is a
gonna
life
arrest you.
hack.
No, here's the environmental thing that I'm doing. I don't throw away those bags. I have like a cabinet.
This has nothing to do
full
with
of
the
those
environment.
bags.
You're
Yes, it
stealing
does.
bags.
Yeah, but I use them.
But then
I
why
reuse them.
don't you just bring the bags that you already have?
I do sometimes, but then I forget. If I forget, I do.
I do the same thing. I forget too. That's the whole thing.
So we see you traveling the world, and I'm just like, is this like a job? Like, is this a 9 to 5 type of thing? Like, can you actually survive off of this?
Yeah, because there's many brands representing him.
I'm just wondering because I'm like,
done, like,
I want to live that life too.
Oh, you're already living a way more incredible life. No. Yeah, you can be a travel Instagrammer, I guess is what you would call it, or a travel blogger.
Right.
But I think with anything, because it's not like I just started doing this and then I'm all of a sudden making money and traveling the world and getting paid to do it. I've been working at this for almost 15 years. Wow. So it's just been like a slow process of like putting things out there and building the brand.